Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Mwah. Love you, Gali.
Love you, Abale. Another Tuesday.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome to another live stream.
Another live stream.
Yeah, and it's going to be incredible because it's a subject that I think is near and dear to everybody's hearts.
Yeah.
Before we start, of course, we want to always check at the beginning the technical. Can you
Yes.
see us okay and can you hear us? Let us know in the chat. I'm also going to check my side. Let us know. Hold on. Yeah, and it's going to be. Yeah.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
great from my side.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm sure.
Excellent.
All right. So if you're on, definitely interact in the chat. Secondly, if you're listening to this after,
If you're
can.
off, also.
If you're off, you can also
You're
interact in
interacting
the
in
chat. And if you ever listen to this also after the fact, you are always welcome to write to us, email us, send us questions, comments. We always personally answer messages that are directed to us. So
Yeah. And
yeah. Oh, Luke is here. Hi, Luke. Good,
Nice
good.
to see you.
Yeah, good to have you on. And
Yes.
hi, Jenna. Amazing.
Hi, Jenna. Hi.
Hi. Okay. So today's subject is about what's to come in 2024. I wish that in 2020, for example, somebody would have come to me and said, listen, here's what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And at that time, COVID was kind of hard. Almost no one saw it coming. But there are things now in 2024 that it's pretty clear, I think, to us more so than to the average person, what's to come. And I think the idea here is to give you a few warning bells, number one, a few predictions, and a few what you need to do type things.
Yeah.
Now, it's all part of a much bigger subject. We're going to have a seminar on December the 8th, which is going to kind of cover all of this in great detail. You can join live, you can join in person in Cape Town. December 8th, you can go to gprosperity.com/live, LIVE, to find out more. So just so you know, it's a big topic.
Yeah.
But today we're going to touch upon it.
Okay. So I think that the first thing to understand is that when you see a person threatening someone, when you see a person that putting some kind of a police force, you know that the person lost control. If I say, if you don't do that, I'll do that, you already know you lost control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once you see that, you'll see that governments around the globe want more control because they don't have enough control according to them, because the population grows and they need control. So what's going to happen is much more control. First of all, there will be electronic money. Governments will start to work for electronic money. And while it seems amazing and beautiful, yes, we will pay with electronic money, and we're already paying with electronic money.
Yeah.
The difference is that you will not allow to have cash. Now, if you check around the globe, you'll see that in Israel and in other places around the globe, you are not allowed to make any cash sales or to hold cash. It's actually a criminal offense.
Really? To hold cash?
To hold cash.
Wow.
There is a certain amount of money that if you hold more than a certain amount of money, you will go to jail.
Wow. Okay.
Not get only a penalty, you will go to jail.
Wow. Okay. I did, and that's over a high amount, I'm guessing, but it will shrink over time.
No, it's
or
over. It's in Israel is like, as far as I remember, 30,000 nis, which is divided to four, $7,000.
$8,000, give or take.
That's all. It's
Wow.
nothing.
Wow.
It's not even money.
Yeah. Wow.
So the whole idea is to control every single transaction, to control what you do. And if you are not behaving according to the government, they just turn off the money. That's really the idea. So
yeah. It happened already in some countries, that type of thing, where they've turned off people's money.
Yes,
I've seen it on a minor level.
But you can still have cash. You can have,
right. Yeah.
So they can stop your credit card, but you can have cash, and you and yes, someone can stop your credit card, but you can get another credit card and so on. Okay.
Yeah. Now, is this something in 2024, or is the beginnings of it will be?
The beginning is there.
Okay.
But what's important to understand is that in 2024 you'll have more and more and more control.
Yeah.
Now, in order to get to that control, there need to be a disaster.
Yeah.
And most governments are bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because they printed so much money for, first of all, for COVID, and second, for the different wars.
Right. Right.
And who is going to pay for it? The population.
Yeah. So just let's explain that, because I think it took me some time. We've talked a lot about it and I get it. But for the average person to understand, what do you mean governments are bankrupt? They printed money during COVID. What does that mean? Just so they understand the full picture.
Okay. So if you take money, if you have money, money it used to represent dollars, gold.
Yeah.
It used to represent gold.
Yeah.
But now it represents the overall potential production of a country.
Okay.
So the country can produce so many products that can be sold, and the country can get money in.
Yeah.
So generally, money represents production.
Yeah.
Money represents production. If you really understand that money represents production, you understand money.
Yeah, because that applies not just to governments. It's day to day for everyone. Money represents production.
If you don't have money, it means you don't produce. Money do not represent hard work. Money do not represent number of hours of work. Money do not represent how much you sweat or anything else. It means production, a completed thing that has an exchange value at the hands of someone else. Okay.
Yes.
So money represents production. So if there is X amount of people in the country and those people are producing, then you have X amount of expectation of money.
Absolutely.
Now, what government says, they say, yes, correct. So I have 1 million people in the country and they can produce $1 million, but I can actually multiply it over the years because there will be more people, there will be more systems, there will be more. And they start to multiply it. But at one point, they multiply it in the order of 30 years from now, like 30 times the production of the country. And that's not so bad, but if you take in consideration that people become less and less productive because they become less and less educated, because they are more and more relying on drugs, and the drugs can be street drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, Netflix, and other drugs.
So yeah, true. It's addiction. It's an addiction like a drug.
Yeah. People are more on drugs, so they become less and less productive. And because they become less and less productive, the country will not make it. And so the less the country the less the country is prosperous, the more control it puts on its populace.
100%.
Why? Because the government, instead of actually fixing their own problem, they try to fix the problem outside in other places. So they try to fix the wrong problem.
Yeah, I see. Absolutely.
So the bottom line, what will happen is that people will have more and more control by the government. There will be more and more difficult to make business. And in order for a person to succeed, he needs to be much, much, much smarter.
Absolutely.
So the key is that you need to really understand how to make money. You need to understand how to market. You need to understand how to sell. You need to understand how to deliver. And all of that is a lot. There is a lot to learn. So how do you actually learn so much when there is not enough time? Like if you take the next year, if you learn the whole of next year, it will not be enough for you to learn all those things.
Yeah, true. It's like, where do you even start?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the principle and you will see that it actually makes sense. So if someone will give you the principles of business, which mean, look, if this is what you do, if it's aligned with that, it's correct. If not, don't do that.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you know the principle of something, you can deduce it. Does it make sense to do it or not?
Right.
If I know the principle of electronics, I can deduce, does it make sense to connect this machine to the outlet or not? Because I understand the principle.
Yeah.
But if not, I would just put it in and
hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yes. So what we will do, we will teach the principles of business. The principle of how do you survive in a disastrous economy. Really, this is what we're really going to do. How do you survive in a disastrous economy? And it can be an economy that have COVID in it. If you do those actions, you will not only survive, you will prosper. It can be a government that go crazy and go to war, depends where you live. It can be just a government that come up with new restrictions. It can be, how do you survive if all of a sudden you are disconnected from the world? There's no electricity, no internet, how do you survive? What do you need to do in order to not only survive but prosper? And there is always a way to do that. It's quite amazing. And it's actually, I don't want to say it aloud, but it's actually easier. When there's a disaster, let's say during COVID, everyone was closed. Everyone was saying, oh, no, I'm not selling. There's no one doing business. But still, business happened.
Yeah.
Even in the Holocaust, in the concentration camp, there was business. And it's not only because there mainly Jewish people, yes?
True.
So even in the concentration camp, there was business. During COVID, there was a lot of business happening. Billions of dollars in every country.
Yeah.
What's the point? The point is that everyone closing down and everyone is in apathy and they think, oh, I've got nothing to do. But if you are smart, if you know the principles, you will find a way to sell, even if they put a fence around you, even if they limit you, even if you have a concentration camp around you all of a sudden, you will be able to sell, you will be able to make money, you will be able not only to survive, to prosper. Why? Because the average small to medium business maybe control 1% of its market. If it's amazing, 1% of the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that the market is 2 million people. Okay. And he control 1%. How much is that?
2 million people, 1%,
Like
20,000.
20,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Now, usually he compete with hundreds of businesses against that.
Yeah.
So now all those businesses doing nothing, and the business moved from 100 million people, or to how many people? I said how many?
2 million.
2 million
2 million,
people.
yeah.
It went down to, let's say, 300,000 to 200,000.
Right.
But now he's the only one. So even if he's doing 50% of the market, 30% of the market, he's doing more than he's done before.
Absolutely.
Because everyone give up. When bad things happen, everyone gives up. And only those lions that continue despite the pain win.
And I think that type of ability to continue, it's obviously having a strong mental toughness. And that type of thing has to be developed now. I feel like when you're in it, in the middle of COVID, and now you're like, I need to be mentally tough. You're beat up.
You can
learn,
but
you've been
because
beat
COVID
up.
took a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can, but you need to develop it in advance. You need to really realize what happened. And I'll give you an example. If you go to the gym and let's say you do chest press, okay?
Bench press, yeah.
Bench press, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say you do bench press. How does it work? How do you do bench press?
What do you mean in terms of?
Like, how do you do bench press? How come that the body doing bench press? What do you do?
So you lay back, right, on the bench, and you push against the bench and with your arms going out.
Yes, that's what most people think. But if you will actually see every action that you do, before the action, you have to have the picture of the action happen. Otherwise, you would not do the action.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah, you first have to see what you have to.
First of all, you have to know
the
that it
destination.
happened. If I don't know a word, I will not be able to say it. If I don't have a sentence I first have the sentence and then I say it, and it's so quick that you don't notice it.
Absolutely.
But if you forgot a word, like I forgot bench press, yes, you'll see that you will not be able to actually say it because you didn't create it before. So there is a kind of something that comes before what you see in the physical universe.
Interesting. That's sort of why you need to do a warm-up almost. You warm up to get yourself to see it almost.
Yeah. So you see that there is something that you are always a little bit in the future. You're always a little bit in the future. And what you do is always in the past.
I see.
It's not in present time because there's no present time. Present time always change in this physical universe.
I see. Interesting.
So if you really get that the way that you actually bring about something is you need to be a little bit into the future, a millisecond into the future. If you understand and you learn how to do that on that millisecond, and you improve that to 1 second, if you learn how to improve it to a little bit more than 1 second, if you learn how to improve it to a minute, if you learn how to improve it 15 minutes, if you learn how to improve it a day, 2 days, if you learn how to be in the future and then get the physical universe to react later, if you actually can learn how to do that, and it's something that you learn, it's not magic. It looks like magic, but it's not. If you actually learn how to do it, you'll see that all of a sudden things just happening perfectly for you. Your life is smooth sail. Everyone look at you and say, wow, how can you do that? And you know, easy, I just put it down into the future.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Jenna said, yes, I love that. Have to have the picture before. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a major difference. And so basically you're saying that with 2024 coming, you need to
a little bit more before than, because you need to, for 2024, for everything, you need to be before.
Yeah.
But when things get tough, what does it mean, mental toughness? It means ignoring what's happening right now and creating what's need to be created. That's mental toughness. What's mental weakness? What's happening right now get you stuck into the past. So everyone time continue, and you're still stuck on what has been done to you.
I said that's a big, that's a good explanation.
Yeah, this is
very good differentiation.
Mental toughness, because someone that weak mentally, I hit you. Now for 20 years, I hear, oh, my dad hit me.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So the guy is stuck in the past. He doesn't have the mental toughness to overcome something that happened. A person that is tough, a person that have mental toughness, I hit you and you have the mental toughness, you say, okay, fine, what can I do with that? How can I turn this thing into something amazing? The best thing is I'm going to use his hand to make me a new cake, whatever.
Yeah. Gonna put him to work on a cake. Yeah. I get the idea. 100%.
Yeah, so you actually need to create the future in order for your future to arrive. Otherwise, you will be handed future by someone other than you, and it's never a nice future. If you did not create your own future, your future is not your own, and you're just a pawn on a board game, not of your own. It's not your own board game. Someone moves you around. So in order for you to succeed in life, and in 2024 especially, because it's going to be a tough year. If you think that what we experienced so far was tough, I have news for you. And I would not get into all what's going on and why and how it's happening, and it's irrelevant. What's relevant is you need to become powerful. And you become powerful by improving your ability to predict the future, and by that, create the future. How do you control your future? You predict it. How? By creating it.
Amazing. That's amazing. So people need to essentially get some knowledge in order to control. Yeah. That's the bottom line. Now, I know you don't want to get too into why and all that, but none of this is planned or scripted in terms of the conversation, but I want to touch upon a couple of subjects and kind of touch upon your predictions on them. Just one example. Somebody told me today, and I don't think it's true, but they said that there's a big rumor going around in South Africa that there's going to be a 14-day power grid failure in December. It's like a rumor. Now it could be, I'm not ruling it out because South African government is, you know what I mean? But it's something that could happen globally, not just South Africa.
Yeah. So if someone say that something, if there's a rumor that something going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Why? Because if someone planning to do something like that, there was no rumor about COVID. There was no rumor about the Israeli-Palestinian war.
Yeah.
There was no rumor
about the 2008 crash.
Yeah. There was no rumor about the .com crash. There was not. People said things, but there was no something that say, oh, well, we know that within 3 weeks it happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
fine. I understand.
Yeah, it was more from the angle of Eskom is going to need to do some repair, some nonsense about whatever.
But if Eskom need to do some kind of repair, not a problem. There will be a specific area. Let's say Cape Town will be shut down.
It's
not
true.
South Africa.
Yeah,
it's not. They don't have to shut all of South Africa. They don't have to shut all of Cape Town. But let's say the worst. So Cape Town will be shut down. Okay.
Yeah, but there is my point is that there is a scenario at some point in the next year or two that there'll be something global, whether it's power or internet, some kind of an attack that will shut things
For
down.
sure, there will be, and actually, it's not there will be. It happened already. There's two things. I don't want to go into too much. The reason people are less intelligent, and people are less intelligent. It's not a question. I'm sorry to say that.
Just you mean day to day now?
Like
just
the average person.
things.
The average person. If a person prefer to live on marijuana all day long, or to be drunk every day, or to explain why he's failing, it's not something that happened 50 years ago. In 1950, you didn't have people that was on drugs all day long. And in 1950, there was less technology, but much more smartness.
Yeah.
What we enjoying today is things that has been invented there. The basic technology has been invented there. Transistors, semiconductors, etc., invented there. Was there progress since? Yes, for sure there was a progress. But the fundamental was invented way before. There's no real fundamentals that has been invented in the last 20 years.
I see. So the breakthroughs were then.
20, 30, 50 years.
Yeah.
That's when it's happened.
I see.
So if you really understand that people are really not smart, and that's a compliment. If you really, really understand, just open your eyes and see what's going on. Just look at the manners of people. Look at the way that they behave. You'll see people are not smart. So once you understand that this is the situation, the question is why? Why? And there is an actual push to destroy society. And the destruction is done, number one, by radiation.
Radiation, okay. Like my first thought that somebody might think is, do you mean like cell phones? Do you mean the sun? What do you mean?
Nuclear radiation that has been released into the atmosphere and get re-stimulated by X-rays, get re-stimulated by cell phone radiation. All of those other radiation is actually a re-stimulation of what's actually re-stimulation, meaning turning on or triggering or emphasizing or increasing the effect of something that happened in the past.
I see. Yeah.
So this is number one.
So just in general, there's in the atmosphere nuclear radiation being purposefully pumped
constant radiation that makes if the person did not handle what he needed to handle, it will mix up the picture in his mind, and he will not come to correct conclusions. So the correct conclusion, you come to a person and you tell him, tell me something. And he says, I like tomato. And you ask him, what is tomato? And he says, I don't know, I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Wow. The shoes have a higher intelligence than that. Yes?
Yeah, I've seen that. Somebody stand behind what they say.
Yeah.
You ask them, what does it mean? And they say, I don't know.
I need to think about it. You just say it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just said it. What stands? So what do you mean? Explain.
So it's not only that they don't create the future, they don't even know what the past is.
Yeah. And they don't even know what they're saying now.
Yeah. So you will see that people become worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. The simplest thing that a person, like you explain to a person, look, if you don't understand what I'm telling you, you will not understand what I'm telling you. Now, what I'm telling you is transmitted by words, so you need to understand the words. And the person would say, no, I don't need to understand the words. I have my own definition in my mind. There's a kind of a feeling that I have about it, and so on.
Yeah, I've seen hour-long arguments about that simple point.
The stupidity is very high.
Yes. Okay. So there's this radiation that's on purpose by some group that we don't need to get into.
There's the radiation that's been emitted right now on purpose. It has been removed a little bit and increased and blah, blah, blah. And then when a person takes drugs, what drugs done, it's emphasize the effect of that radiation. It mixing the pictures. So a person cannot study because he's drugged. And so they go and they get Ritalin or something. They get other drug. You understand? A person cannot study because he's drugged by this radiation. And now they give him more drugs that even make it worse.
Wow.
It is really unbelievable how bad it is.
Yeah.
So if you really understand that the average person's situation is really bad, and most of us they are the average person, you need a tool to overcome that. You need tools to overcome that. How can you overcome that? By knowledge. Because knowledge results in control. What is your problem right now? Your life is not under control.
Yes.
So when your life is not under control, it means that that you're operating on a fake knowledge, on a false knowledge. And how do you know if what I will teach you actually is real knowledge? It will bring results. So the key for what we are doing is we guarantee the result. You come to the seminar. If you don't get result by the end of the seminar, regardless of whose fault it is, get your money back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, by the way, about the general situation that people need to be more in control, there's people that are worried that as the year comes ahead, there's going to be AI endangering their jobs or some kind of other technology that makes them obsolete. But I think, again, it connects. If you know, you will.
Yeah. If you learn the principles of if you understand, first of all, that money is the result of production and not thinking good thoughts and not a good job and not a connection and not who you know and all of this nonsense. Money is the result of production. Production is something of value that you bring to someone else. And if you don't understand all those things and you don't understand how to bring it up, and if you don't understand the principle of the physical universe, how the physical universe work, and how do you actually get the physical universe to work, you will fail. The basic principle that you need to understand is that your result monitored by your spiritual condition or by your state of mind. So you need to be in a good spiritual condition. You need to have a good mental condition. So if you are not in a good mental condition, which means you cannot create future and then the physical universe follow up, if you are stuck on your past, you will die. But never mind dying, you die in pain. You'll die slowly. The problem is not that you will fail, but you will fail slowly and it will be painful. So you need to improve your mental condition. And unfortunately, the worse the mental condition of the person is, the more he believes in things, and the more he believes in things, the more difficult for him is to actually observe the obvious, to observe what's actually in front of him. Because if I believe that there is a line in the next door, I will not go and check if there is a line.
I see.
Yes, because I believe that there's a line and it's dangerous, and don't open the door, he will jump on me. You will never know if the lion died. 20 years later, you still don't open the door because there's a lion there.
Yeah, true.
So the worse a person is, the more he believes, because a person in a good condition don't believe, he knows. Big difference. Person in a good condition can observe, can know things, can put something there and not be the effect of things. A person in a bad condition generally rely on his past. So you believe things happen. You believe that those are the reason for your problem. You believe in all kind of things. And how do you know that you believe and don't know? For as long as you believe in things, the result will not be what you want. For as long as you believe in things, I believe there is fuel. I believe the car, there is fuel. I don't need a gauge. I believe there is fuel. So the result will not be what I want. I will get stuck, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
I believe how I know how to make sure that I make more than I spend, which means that I have profit. I believe, I don't look at the numbers, but I believe that's most people, how they run
I
their
don't check my
businesses.
bank statements. It's
I
fine.
don't,
I
it's
believe
fine.
I'm
I
fine.
believe
I'm good.
fine.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you believe, you will not have the expected results. And the worse the person is, the more he believes, the less he's willing to observe or to look, and the more difficult is to change his viewpoint, because when a person believes, he feels that if he will stop believing, he will lose the last thing that he has. Because the only thing that person have in this universe is his beliefs. You look at his life and you'll see that his life is a mess. So the only thing he has is his beliefs. So
True. Yeah, amazing. Now, for anybody listening, we're going to wrap up in about a minute or two or three. But if you have any questions yourself, feel free to ask now.
yes. Even if you don't have questions, if you're online, just say
just
hi,
say
so
hi.
I know that you are here.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
know that Luke is here and Jenna is here
And Avi.
and Avi is here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, I know there's more people. Just say hi,
Yeah.
so we know that you are here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question, in final from my side, is the obvious question about the economy. So what's kind of visible? High interest rates. It's quite visible. Oh, we have John here.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. Mwah. So we have high interest rates. We obviously have a situation where the economy is stagnated. I think that what I'm observing is somehow it actually looks like people have plenty of money. Restaurants are full. They're out. They're spending money. And I look around and I go, how do these people have money? Well, from where? I don't see it. It almost looks like there's like this facade, this bubble that people are within that are creating a fake kind of spending. And so you have that coupled with a terrible condition of interest rates, inflation, etc. So what's the prediction on that?
So first of all, the principle is, I don't know if you know, but before a person dies, just before he dies, there's a very, very amazing increase in his condition. He looks all of a sudden very good. So a person that was very sick, just before he died, there will always be an improvement, and then he will die. Before the dot-com explosion, there was like unbelievable numbers, highest ever. And it dropped. Before the subprime disaster, there was unbelievable hype. Before the cryptocurrencies crashed, there was number $60,000 per one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, even pre-COVID, things were amazing.
Yeah. So when you see something that go up with no actual explanation, where you see that everything around says bad, but you see someone trying to say it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's really bad. You need to be ready.
Yeah.
You really have to be ready. You have to look at the number. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I see. So basically, people are about to die. Things are looking good, but
things will crash. There's no questions. That things will crash. For those that don't know, those that know, those that actually have the actual tools, you will see that they will know what to do. So everyone will crash around them. They will survive, and they will help their families and friends. And because of them, things will improve. And you will see that those that actually knows, those that actually prepare, are always ridiculed at the beginning and always saying, you. If you actually check the people that those people that get attacked usually are the people that get called once a disaster hit the fan. Not in South Africa, because there's no electricity.
When shit hits the fan here, you look up and the fan's not even on. It's better because
problem.
then it doesn't spray everywhere. At least. Now I know what you're going to say, the answer here, but how come it hasn't yet happened? Because many people thought the crash would have already happened.
The crash happened, and it did happen. And the government's pumping money into the market and giving all kind of stimulants and printing money basically in order
keep
to
things-
keep things with the hope that things will improve.
Yeah. Now, will it stay afloat? Is there a way that governments can save the day?
If the government cannot save the day,
Mm-hmm.
then in order to be successful in anything,
Mm-hmm.
what you need money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You need to have the material,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to have a willing producing people.
Yeah.
Yes. So you take a country like I don't know, South Africa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable amount of resources, endless amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
but the average person in South Africa is not willing to work. So the economy deteriorates.
I see.
The rand gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get destroyed because of some kind of a distraction powder.
Mm-hmm.
There's no willing producing people.
Right. Especially in positions of power.
Yeah.
Even worse.
No, just the
I know
average,
day to
the
day,
average,
but
yes.
it's you.
Take
yeah.
Africa as a continent.
Mm-hmm.
The highest level of resources is in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of money that come into that, but unwillingness to produce by the average African person.
Mm-hmm.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster. If
Yeah.
you are not willing to produce, if the people are not willing to produce, there will be a disaster.
And the whole world is going there. There's a whole 4-day work week push.
Every
yeah.
single thing. When we talk about stupidity, when
Yeah.
we talk about stupidity of people, is people think that everything happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
They get tired. You see, people telling me, I'm just I'm just so tired. I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so tiredness is just an unwillingness to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an unwillingness. So for as long as you're willing to play the game, for as long as you're willing to tackle the barriers, you are never getting tired.
Yeah.
When the willingness go down, the tiredness go up.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are most of the time tired.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing about being burnt out as well.
Yeah, but
which is like after a prolonged activity of a lot, you.
Yeah, there's no such thing as burnt out. There's another fake reality that people buy.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, let's say that it was true.
Mm-hmm.
Did it solve the problem? Did you stop being burned out?
Mm-hmm.
After every burned out that you have, you get worse. You
Yeah.
become smaller and less able.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't work. It's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's
true.
really nonsense.
True.
So people are in a very bad condition.
Yeah.
And because people are in very bad condition, the willingness to produce is reduced. And because the willingness to produce is reduced, the country is on notice. The country will not do well.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see, I'll give you an example on the Israeli-Palestinian war. Never mind who is right, who is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But for years, the Israelis were not willing for soldiers to die in a war. They really didn't want it. They had lots of missiles and blah, 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 but they were not willing to have Israeli soldiers die in a war. So there was never a ground troop going into any place for 20 years, 30 years, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And the purpose was to not have people hit. Now, an army that his personnel is not willing to die
Mm-hmm.
is like a country that its personnel is not willing to work.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
It's like a sports team that isn't willing to play.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened is they were not willing to die, and all of a sudden many more people die. Soldiers, civilians, children, babies, blah blah blah. I'm not talking about right, wrong right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And all of a sudden, something happened. There's an emergency. What is an emergency? Emergency is a moment of heightened willingness. So there's a very, very, very high willingness to die on the side of the Israelis. And all of a sudden, there is a war, and they're going to war, and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the Israelis are willing to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the same with the country. The country will have a surprise attack. The country will have casualties. The country will die for as long as the majority of the people are not willing to work. And that's what's happening with most countries. And if you understand that and you learn how to increase your willingness to work, Like you have to be God not to become a billionaire.
What a head start.
Yeah.
What a nice head start.
Because no one is
Yeah.
working, no one producing.
Yeah.
You're the only one that producing. Of course, you'll have money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So because no one is willing to fight. If you're willing to fight, Hamas was willing to fight. So a small organization, Hamas, unorganized, licked one of the strongest armies in the universe, or on the planet, not on the universe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like nothing. 1,500 people unorganized with a few Kalashnikovs and RPGs licked F-35, licked Sikorskis, licks all the weapons that Israel have. Like massive weapon, massive, advanced technology from here to eternity. Few people on motorcycles licked the country. It's like, what?
True.
Because
Wild.
the willingness was not there.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen.
Yeah.
And then if you are the person that is willing to fight back, if you are the person that's willing to produce, if you learn the technology on how to do that, the game is yours. Because you don't have competition. You know, people say that competition is good. I don't think that competition is good. I'm against competition. Competition is good for the customer. Competition is not good for the supplier.
Yeah.
So for me as a business owner, I don't want competition.
Right. Yeah.
Apple don't want competition, believe me.
Yeah. Amazing. That's very amazing. And I think we've covered this very well for this segment. Yes. So first of all, I'll answer here. So William, first of all, thank you very much. Very appreciated. And you are very welcome. And Shemaiah, yes. Shemaiah and John were laughing at the shit hitting the fan.
Yeah.
And hi, Harold. And fantastic. Yeah, we've covered the comments. So guys, I think that that was amazing. That covered everything really well. The seminar is online and in person. It's quite cool because it's like a webinar where you can watch from home, but because it's delivered in a seminar format, it's quite nice because you see Meir the whole time, you see the presentation. So it's cool if you're international, but it's the best if you're in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So if you're currently in Europe or the US, just fly down and join us.
Yeah, I can just tell you that if you come to the seminar, you need to come with the viewpoint that you're going to participate and you're going to throw away what you already know. And just for that few hours, be willing to look at something new. It's really important. If not, you're wasting your time. It's just, if you're not willing to participate, I mean, you can come, yes, but it won't be as enjoyable for you or not as valuable for you. You'll get something, but not much. But if you will participate, I can guarantee the results. You need to participate and you need to understand that you are limited because of your past, because of what you believe in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to shatter, I'm going to explode, I'm going to shoot all your beliefs out of the window. Everything that seems to you one way will look totally different by the end of that seminar. Of course, you can keep on holding to them and continue to fail, but I suggest you won't.
Super powerful. Amazing. That's a great message, and we really look forward to having you there.
Yeah.
Again, it's gprosperity.com/live, LIVE. Thank you very much for you guys being on, and thank you, Abba.
Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Appreciate it, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.